Well, hello everyone. This is the Shawn1113 podcast show. I am your host, Shawn1113. Thank you for listening, wherever platform you may be, anywhere in the world. If you're interested and like this content, please drop a voice message, and we'll be more than happy to listen that to you. Again, thank you very much. Stay encouraged no matter what. And with that variety of topics, that the spring is now here, officially here. It's in full bloom. Everything seems like it's slowly coming back in the sports world. And right now, of course, the NCAA basketball team, I'll be talking about the Sweet 16 predictions of who will win that. First of all, NFL free agency. Matt Ryan getting traded to Indianapolis. I think that's an upgrade for Indianapolis, in my opinion. Um, I'm going to be very interested if Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo will be on the block. I think Jimmy G will stay in San Francisco, in my opinion. Baker Mayfield, I think there's one place he'll go is Seattle. Um, Really, that's it, to be perfectly honest with you. I think either he goes to Seattle, he goes nowhere, or he gets cut by the Browns. Because with Deshaun Watson getting traded to Cleveland, and we don't know what's his um, legal status or the status that the National Football League was suspended for games or so. Um, right now, let's see what Watson does. It's going to be very interesting. Other than the civil litigation, actually, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see Deshaun Watson in Cleveland Browns uniform when he does eventually play. Also, I forgot to mention in the last podcast the Devontae Adams trade to from Green Bay to Las Vegas, and then I just found out they also shored up the Kansas City receiver. Um, I can't place it right now. Let me know in the comments who that was. But they definitely bolstered their. I mean, the Raiders right now definitely bolstered their wide receiver core in a hurry, and give Derek Carr a lot to throw to, right now. Buffalo with Von Miller. You know, I right now the AFC is going to be packed to the punch, and that's what it looks like as we when the season starts, 2022-2023 season. The NFC is going to be wide open, a lot more wide open, and the AFC is going to be a dogfight. There's no question about that at all. I think the Buffalo Bills will be the favorite to go to the Super Bowl in a lot of people's pick. To be honest with you, Kansas City, you can't count them out. You can't count on Cleveland. I mean, there's so many right now. Um, Now, Premier League, April 10th. I'm looking forward to that game. My Manchester City against Liverpool. I am definitely looking forward to that game. That's the game that will either win the Premier League for Liverpool, for Manchester City, or Liverpool. That will pretty much decide who will go on to win the Premier League championship for 2021-2022. But April 10th, mark that on your calendar. Manchester City, Liverpool. NBA, NHL, going starting the stretch of the season to end their season and into the playoffs. We'll keep an eye on that as time goes on. Although it is the funniest thing in the world to see the Lakers just fall apart completely. The Russell Westbrook signing, what a flop! that has turned out to be a complete flop. Probably the biggest NBA free agency flop in a long time. The Russell Westbrook signing to the Lakers, in my opinion. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs going soon. I'll be talking about that soon. Now we can get to the Sweet 16. Oh, by the way, the Major League Baseball season as well. I had a little bit of spring training games like the Dodgers, and I'll be making those picks as it pretty much almost next week as the opening day comes for Major League Baseball. If you excuse me, there's some jets flying right now. Sorry about that. But I'll be making my picks then for MLB. Now let's get to the Sweet 16 NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness. Here we go. I mentioned it was going to be a wide open NCAA. I didn't think it was going to be this wide open, especially St. Peter's surprising Kentucky, Miami, Florida surprising Auburn, and many other upsets. I think now more so than ever, college basketball is so wide open with all the majors. I don't think it's a surprise anymore that the mid majors are on level with some of the big Power 5 schools. It's not so much in college basketball, college football actually, but in college basketball, it is a completely different story. Now the Sweet 16 picks. Arkansas and Gonzaga. I'm picking Gonzaga. Michigan, that's been the surprise. I didn't think they would belong in the tournament, but they have surprised. But they sure fooled me going this far. They're taking on Villanova. Villanova won their run. Texas Tech and Duke. Texas Tech, I think either the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, if Duke goes on, that will be the end of Mike Krzyzewski's great career, 47-year career. One of the greatest coaches of all time. But I think Texas Tech will beat Duke here. Houston and Arizona, a tough game for Houston. That's one of my final 4 picks. I'm picking with Houston, but of course I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Arizona won that game. St. Petersburg and Purdue. St. Peter's have had a great run, but their Cinderella run, in my opinion, is going to end against Purdue. I'm picking Purdue. Providence and Kansas, a tough game. To pick this, Providence is a very strong team, but I'm picking Kansas. Like I said, Kansas is my pick to win it all. So I got to pick Kansas over Providence. The toughest game to pick is North Carolina and UCLA. It's going to be a very close game. I think UNC will win that game. Iowa State and Miami. The other surprise is Miami, Florida. But I think Iowa State will beat Miami, Florida. And that's my picks for the Sweet 16 picks. And that is the Shawn1113 podcast show. Thank you for listening, whatever platform. On Anchor.fm, by Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, whatever you may be listening to, Google Podcasts. Thank you. And again, thank you for listening to this podcast. And please stay encouraged no matter what.